Hey everyone, I have another apartment-friendly workout for you. It's quiet, meaning there's no jumping around, and minimal equipment is required. All you're gonna need is a mini band, also called a resistance band loop. This is a total body workout that is broken up into 3 circuits. In each circuit, I'm gonna give you 3 exercises, and you do them back to back, 30 seconds each. You then rest for 30 seconds before repeating. In the first circuit, we're gonna alternate right, left, so you will do 4 sets of the circuit. In the remaining 2 circuits, though, you're just gonna go through 3 times. I'm gonna give you 60 seconds to recover in between each circuit, and during that time, I will give you a preview of the upcoming exercises. As with all workouts, you wanna make sure you're properly warmed up beforehand and always listen to your body, modifying or stopping as needed. If you're new to my channel, I don't play music in the background because I want you to be able to listen to whatever you like. So if you don't have a playlist or podcast or TV show queued up, you might wanna get that going. And with all that said, let's get to the preview of the first 3 exercises. So you actually don't need the band for this first exercise, but for a quick transition, you could do it with the band under your right foot just so that you're ready to grab it. We're gonna do a curtsy pulse to a knee drive. You're gonna mirror me. So right foot is going to be the focus. Your left foot is going to step back behind into a curtsy. Curtsy lunge, give me a pulse at the bottom. Then as you stand, drive that back left knee up and in. Now, you can bring your knee up kind of to the side, or you can drive the knee in front of you. Do whatever feels best for your hips. Doesn't make a big difference. What I want you focusing on is the right side glute. So as you come up to stand for that knee drive, you're thinking about making a fist with that right butt cheek. Now coming up, your right foot is going to stand on the resistance band loop for deadlifts. Right foot stands on the band, grab it with your left hand. I find that helps with balance. And then from here, you're hinging forward. And then as you come up, you're gonna bring that back left knee forward in towards your chest for a little bit more of a balance challenge. If that is too much though, don't worry about the knee drive. You can bring the back left foot to the floor. Now, to modify these, you can do them in a staggered stance. So instead of having your back left leg hovering, you would have the ball of the foot on the floor. Okay, grab the band in both hands. You're in a low lunge on that right side, and your left foot is stepping back and forward into a squat. As you step back, you are rowing that left elbow. So we're burning out that right side here. Stay low with weight in your right heel, and the knee is stacked over that heel, so make sure it's not jutting forward over your toes. "30 seconds to rest. So we're going to do that same sequence this time with the left leg as the focus. Again, I'm kind of getting my resistance band ready to step into so I can make that transition quickly from the curtsy to the deadlifts. Left foot is going to stay planted. Right foot will sweep behind. 30 seconds, let's go. Pulse, knee drive. So when you do that knee drive, your abdominals need to be active so that we're not dumping into the low back. So I like to exhale as I stand and bring the knee up just to help create that abdominal connection. Coming up at the beeps, your left foot steps in the band, right hand grabs it. Deadlifts. So left foot in the band, I like to grab it with my opposite hand, square off your hips and go into that deadlift hinge. Now unlock your standing left knee when you hinge forward and try to keep your hips square to the floor. So think of drawing that right hip down in line with the left. Again, I'm bringing my knee forward in this. You don't have to. You could also always keep your right foot on the floor in a staggered stance. Don't worry about how many reps you get in on this one, okay? It's all about balance and control. Grab the band in both hands, find a low squat position. Your left foot stays planted as your right foot steps back and forward. You are rowing on that right side as you do this. There's a hinge forward with your torso, so shoulders are stacked over that front knee. Final few seconds because you get a little lower. And rest. Okay, you're halfway through this circuit. We are going to repeat it once more on each leg. So we'll start with those curtsies. Your right foot is going to be planted. You are mirroring me. Let's go. Left foot steps back, pulse at the bottom of your curtsy lunge. Come up, driving off that front leg, left knee in towards your chest, or if it feels better for your hips, you can kind of bring it up out towards your left side. Quick transition coming up. Right foot is going to step in the band, left hand grabs it, you're going into your deadlifts, either staggered or that back left leg hovers. Now, depending on how tight your resistance band loop is, you might do this with a straight arm, or you might kind of have your arm in sort of a row or a semi-biceps curl position like I do. You want to feel the tension on that band. Slow and controlled with this one. At the beeps, both hands grab that resistance band. You're in a squat position. All right, right foot stays planted, left foot steps back and forward. You're moving from a low squat to a low lunge, adding in that row with your left arm. Final few seconds, stay with it. And shake it out. You have 30 seconds to rest here. So we're just going to go through this circuit one final time, isolating the left leg. And then you're done with your long circuit. The remaining two, we only go through 3 times because we are not moving unilaterally right to left. Curtsy lunge, when you hear those beeps, left foot is planted, right foot steps back. One powerful pulse, stand and drive. Get ready to step your left foot on that band. Opposite right hand will grab it. Going into those deadlifts, let's go. Quick transition. You don't want to use more than 5 seconds transitioning because I do want you to get at least a solid 5 or 6 reps in on this one. Yeah, not about speed. Hips are level to the floor. Unlock that standing left leg. Long through the spine, so make sure you're not hunching through the shoulders. Broad across the collarbones. Band goes into both hands, find a low squat position. Your left foot is planted, right foot steps back, forward into your squat. Back to the lunge, forward to the squat. Add that row. 20 seconds, let's do it. Final 10, could you get a little lower? Woo, and done with your first circuit. You have a minute to recover while I show you our next 3 exercises. All right, this second circuit, it's total body, but you're especially going to get a good shoulder burn here. First exercise is going to be shoulder shapers. And for all three moves, I want you to have the resistance band a couple inches below your wrists. For the shoulder shapers, you're going to bend your elbows to 90 degrees and lift those elbows up to about shoulder armpit height. And we're going to alternate right and then left, opening up, coming back through center, opening up the other side. Now, it's not just the arm that's moving, that is the focus. That stationary side is working too to resist the increase in tension on that resistance band. So showing you from the side, I've unlocked my knees and I'm keeping that engagement through my core. So as you open up through the arms, you don't want to puff out through the rib cage. So I like to time it so that I'm exhaling as I open up just to help with that abdominal connection. Okay, now we're going to come into a squat calf raise with a row. So your arms reach forward at the bottom and then you row those elbows back at the top as you rise up onto the balls of your feet. Now, as you rise up, you're thinking about squeezing your glutes, but you're keeping that abdominal connection. So again, I like to exhale as I come up. We're going to come to a bear plank position now. So hands under shoulders, knees hover a couple inches off the floor, and then you are going to walk a couple steps to one side, depending on how much space you have, and then just reverse it, other direction. Now, I'm noticing a lot of rocking back and forth of my hips as I'm watching myself back. I want you to try to minimize that, okay? So slow this down a little bit. I want the movements to be controlled. That might mean that the width of each step is a little smaller. And rest. You have 30 seconds to shake it out. Let's start making our way back to standing. We have those alternating shoulder shapers, broad across the collarbones. And you open up one side and then the other. Again, if you notice a lot of pressure in your low back on this one, I want you to try timing it so that you're exhaling as you open up the elbow. And when you exhale, you think of gently drawing your ribs in towards the midline. There's engagement through the lower abdominals, sort of widening and flattening that abdominal wall. At the beeps, keep the band where it is. You find your squat position. Arms start reaching forward at the bottom. And then as you come up powerfully out of that squat, rising to the balls of your feet, you are drawing the elbows back. So the band will probably hit right across your chest here. Now, throughout this movement, I want you to keep tension on the resistance band. So it shouldn't go slack at any point during the movement. At the beeps, make your way to the floor. You're in a bear plank position. Hands under shoulders, knees bent. I'm going to show you from the side so you can see a different angle. So take a step or two to the side. I don't have much space, so I'm just doing one in each direction. Don't worry about making it a huge step. I care more that your hips are staying as level as possible, so we want to stabilize through the pelvis. Now check in with your elbows real quick for me. If they're locked, unlock them. There's a little softness to them. If this is too much with the resistance band, you also always have the option to ditch it for this one. All right, 30-second stress. We're just going to go through those exercises one final time, and then you will be on to your final circuit. Shoulder shapers coming up. Elbows bent at 90. And alternate. Don't let the opening of one arm pull that stationary arm in towards your midline, okay? It stays still. Squat to that calf raise coming up. All right, find your low squat position, arms reach forward. As you drive up, squeeze your seat, elbows draw back. Under 10 seconds to go. Make your way to the floor, bear plank walk, side to side. A step or two or three in one direction and then switch it. Now your butt is going to want to start piking up towards the ceiling, but I need you to keep the hips at shoulder height. So your knees are really only like 3 inches off the floor. So you'll feel your quads talk to you on this one, as well as upper body and core working. Final few seconds, stay with it. And a minute to rest. I'm going to show you the final 3 exercises. Final circuit. Focus is going to be core and upper body. First exercise will be a shoulder tap push-up. Now, if you're advanced, absolutely do them from your feet. I'm going to do them from my knees because we do have a forearm plank coming up right on the other side of it. Up to you though. So 1 push-up at the top, opposite hand, lightly taps other shoulder. When you come up, try not to totally lock out the elbow of the arm that's staying on the floor. That did not come out right, but you know what I mean. Final few seconds here. When you hear those beeps, forearms are going to come down. You're going to meet me in a forearm plank with your feet a little wider than normal for a plank. So maybe more like shoulders distance apart or wider than that. From here, you're going to reach 1 arm at a time forward. Now, I care a lot about your hips staying level on this one, so slow it down. I want controlled movement. I don't care how many reaches you get in. 1 arm reaches forward, little tap, bring back through center, other side. To modify these, you can always do them with your knees down. Rolling crunches. So it's a side V up, a full body crunch at center, bending your knees, and then you roll to the other side. A little tip for doing the side V up. You want to do it on the side of your butt cheek, not directly on your hip bone, or you're not going to be able to get that big crunch. Your modification for this one, you can always just do bicycle crunches instead if these get to be a little too intense. And rest, 30 seconds here. I'm going to go through that just twice more. Shoulder tap push-ups coming up. At the top, opposite hand taps opposite shoulder. Now, when you do that tap, try not to open up through your hips. So you need a lot of abdominal engagement here to keep that pelvic stable. And by pelvic, I mean pelvis. Losing the ability to talk here. Final few seconds. When you hear those beeps, forearms are going to come down. Wide stance forearm plank for those reaches. Now, if you're advanced, instead of having your feet wide, you can bring them together. It's just going to make it harder not to rock the hips if you do that. If you have tight shoulders and this reach is just not working for you, I want you to just hold the forearm plank or take any version of a forearm plank you like, okay? Take it into those rolling crunches. You're on one side, your bottom arm is lightly on the floor for support. You crunch, you roll to center, and then roll to the other side. Final few seconds here. As you roll from side to center to side, try not to rest your legs on the floor. And rest, 30 seconds here. Okay, we have one final time through the circuit. So you are approaching your final 90 seconds of this whole routine. Shoulder tap push-ups. Let's go. So I want you to check in with your neck on this one. You shouldn't be letting your head droop down towards the floor. So your gaze is not at your knees. It's kind of a little in front of your fingers. You're not craning the neck. The neck is at neutral. So picture you're reaching the top of your head towards the wall in front of you. When you hear those little beeps, forearms down. Forearm plank. Feet can be as wide as necessary. Reach, reach. Again, I don't care how many reaches you do. I want you to focus on keeping your hips level to the floor. I find that exhaling as I reach really helps. Final round of rolling crunches coming up when you hear those beeps. Let's go. Start on one side. It's a V up. You can also do all three crunches with your knees bent. So you can do a side crunch bringing the knees in, does not matter. Straight legs is a little harder, up to you. Now, when you do that center crunch, your elbows are wide, fingers by your ears, but don't open your elbows so wide that you puff open through the rib cage. So they're forward a little bit. Last few seconds. And done. Awesome job. That is your workout. I'm going to let the video run for just a little bit because Pickles gets up and starts being cute. So I will let you watch her and I will sign off. Hope you enjoyed that workout. If you did, you know the drill. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post new workouts here every Monday, but lately I've been trying to do more frequently than that, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss one.